Hi and welcome to the latest Ancient Egypt news from the third week of March. Events beyond our control continue to dominate the news headlines, and accordingly there has been a drop in Ancient Egypt news stories. One important piece of information to come out of all the chaos is that Egypt and its monuments are safe to visit. Fresh from its triumph in Tokyo, the Rameses and the Gold of the Pharaohs exhibition has now opened in London. After captivating audiences across Asia with its springtime run in Tokyo, the Rameses and the Gold of the Pharaohs exhibition opened a while ago at the former Battersea Power Station, now housing exhibition spaces in London. The exhibition hosts a collection of more than 180 artifacts of King Rameses II and his monuments from Memphis to Thebes and Abu Simbel that defined Egypt's new kingdom. Rather than following a strictly chronological timeline, the exhibition moves thematically from kingship and conquest to ritual, devotion, and the promise of the afterlife. Colossal sculptures loom in semi-darkness, gilded coffins and funerary masks emerge from pools of light, and jewellery glints against jewel-toned backdrops. Dimmed corridors heighten anticipation before opening into rooms bathed in warm gold and royal purple, colours chosen to evoke both divinity and opulence. Spotlights isolate each artifact, drawing out the shimmer of gold and the translucence of polished stone. Multimedia elements are integrated into the design. Projections and short films contextualize the reign of Rameses II, recounting his military campaigns and monumental building projects. Interactive installations and virtual reality experiences transport visitors beyond the gallery walls towards the soaring facades of Abu Simbel temples in Aswan and the painted splendour of Queen Nefertari's tomb in Thebes. Small objects are displayed in intimate cases that encourage visitors to look closely before the space opens up to reveal large statues that fill entire rooms. Egypt's Minister of Tourism and Antiquities, Sherif Fatih, inaugurated the exhibition, describing it as a powerful example of Egypt's cultural diplomacy. For him, the show is not merely a display of ancient artifacts, but a living dialogue between civilizations and proof that the legacy of ancient Egypt continues to inspire audiences across the world. The event drew diplomats, British officials, MPs, representatives of the monarchy, cultural figures, business leaders, and members of the Egyptian community in the UK. London marks the 7th international stop on the exhibition's global tour. Speaking at the press conference at the London opening, Fatih emphasised that Egypt's exhibitions abroad form part of a broader strategy to promote the country as a destination of exceptional diversity. Such exhibitions serve as an open invitation to experience Egypt firsthand, particularly at a time when the country is investing heavily in museum development and infrastructure, most notably the Grand Egyptian Museum. Hisham al-Liti, Secretary-General of the Supreme Council of Antiquities, the SCA, highlighted the historical weight of the exhibition's central figure. Rameses II, he explained, embodied military power, architectural vision, and human depth, qualities reflected in the 180 objects on display, which range from golden treasures discovered at Tanis to recent finds from Saqqara. Al-Liti said that every artifact travels under strict conservation and security standards, with revenues directed back into restoration and preservation projects across Egypt. Among them is the ongoing reconstruction of the first pylon of Rameses II's mortuary temple on the west bank of the Nile at Luxor. An American archaeological mission from New York University has completed the restoration of a granite head of Rameses II at his temple in Abydos in Sohaj, Egypt's antiquities authorities said. Dr. Hisham al-Liti of the SCA said the work was carried out under the supervision of the SCA, with specialists reassembling the statue's face and head, which had long been separated from the royal headcloth, or nemes. He added that the restored head has been installed on a stone base at the entrance to the temple's second pylon, positioned to make it clearly visible to visitors. The face, measuring about 67 centimeters and weighing roughly 300 kilograms, was discovered in 1994 in the temple's first courtyard and later moved into storage for conservation and study. Analysis later confirmed that it belonged to a previously identified nemes headcloth, prompting the latest restoration effort. Sama Iskander, head of the mission, said the face was found in relatively good condition, retaining traces of red and yellow pigment as well as part of the royal beard. The Nemes also preserves remnants of its original colouring and parts of the Uraeus cobra. He added that earlier excavations in the 94-95 seasons uncovered additional parts of the statue, including its legs and base. Further fragments have since been identified, and excavation work is expected to continue to fully reconstruct the statue. Minister of Tourism and Antiquities Sherif Fatih sees that the work reflects the ministry's strategy to safeguard Egypt's antiquities while enhancing their presentation for visitors. He noted that collaboration with international missions continues to play a key role in reviving important elements of archaeological sites and enriching the visitor experience, particularly in historically significant locations such as Abydos. Independent game developer Colonia Games has announced the upcoming release of Fresco, an ancient Egypt-inspired game set within the hieroglyphs carved into temple walls. Currently in development for Windows PCs, the action-adventure title centers on temple wall carvings that come to life as playable characters. Players switch between two perspectives, moving 2D hieroglyphs navigating the inscriptions and a 3D archaeologist exploring the temple itself. Progression requires alternating between the two characters, advancing both storylines in parallel. Fresco is still in development and is expected to launch on the PC gaming platform Steam. A release date has not yet been announced. The restoration of the gateway of King Rameses III at the Karnak temple complex has been completed, alongside the discovery of a rare stone stela dating to the reign of the Roman Emperor Tiberius. The work was carried out by a joint Egyptian-French mission led by the Franco-Egyptian Center for the Study of the Temples of Karnak, in cooperation with the SCA and the National Center for Scientific Research. The mission completed the reconstruction and restoration of the northern gateway of the enclosure wall, located north of the Karnak complex. The project, carried out between 2022 and 2025 in the northwestern sector of the temple precinct, forms part of ongoing efforts to preserve and better understand the site. In parallel with the restoration work, archaeologists uncovered a sandstone stela measuring about 60 by 40 centimeters. The artifact depicts Emperor Tiberius standing before the Theban triad, Amun-Re, Mut, and Khonsu, and includes a 5-line hieroglyphic inscription documenting restoration work on the enclosure wall of the Temple of Amun-Re. Sherif Fatih described the collaboration between Egyptian and French teams as a model of the international cooperation in heritage preservation. He noted that the project forms part of a broader development plan for the Karnak temple complex, aimed at upgrading the open-air museum and improving visitor services to enhance the overall tourist experience. Dr. El-Lithi from the SCA said the restoration involved dismantling the gateway, conserving and documenting its stone blocks, and reassembling the structure using modern techniques. The work also revealed reused decorated blocks dating to the reign of Amenhotep III, suggesting the presence of an earlier gateway at the site. Mohammed Abdelbadi, head of the Egyptian Antiquities sector at the SCA, said excavations uncovered remains of the northern enclosure wall of the Temple of Amun-Re, along with evidence of multiple construction phases spanning the New Kingdom and the later Greek and Roman periods. Abdel Khafar Wagdi, Director General of Luxor Antiquities, said that the additional work in 2025 had revealed a paved processional road linking the gateway of Rameses III to the courtyard of the third pylon, an ancient route first documented in the early 20th century. Archaeologists believe these findings collectively contribute to a more comprehensive understanding of the architectural evolution of Karnak across millennia, reinforcing its status as one of the world's most significant religious and cultural centers. And the historic Adriano Cinema in Rome hosted a spectacular special screening of the highly anticipated documentary The Man with the Hat recently. The event drew a massive audience that packed the venue to capacity, alongside an elite group of international cultural and media figures. The Italian audience received the film with a standing ovation and enthusiastic applause. The documentary highlights the career and adventures of the world-renowned Egyptian archaeologist Dr. Zahi Hawass. Prior to the screening, a prominent Italian journalist moderated a keynote discussion featuring the film's director, Jeff Roth, and Dr. Hawass. The panel delved into behind-the-scenes stories of the production and the cultural message the film aims to deliver to a global audience. In an exciting announcement for the attendees, the special screening is scheduled to take place in New York this coming June. And that's it for this week. This news podcast is brought to you by Ted Laux and GNT Tours. Ancient Egypt News is rated in the top 5 Egypt history podcasts according to feedspot.com. For 2026 tour dates, check out our website, gnttours.com. Follow us on social media. Thanks for listening to this episode. Please feel free to comment and share. Until next time, thanks again. Cheers. Bye-bye.